Good afternoon. It's officially here, of course, the AFCON 2019 that is going to be hosted in Egypt. It's finally here. The big day is here. We here at Ibru TV and the Soccer 360 team, as well as the Sport Desk, will be bringing for you all the live reaction and live feed post-match analysis straight from Egypt. Now, join us in this roller coaster ride as we take you on a road to Egypt. Good afternoon, and it is that day the African Cup of Nations finally kicks off in a few hours' time. I'm Delvin Owino, and this is Soccer 360 African Cup of Nations special edition. Today I'm joined by fellow co-host Dennis Otieno, Benjamin Mwaka, and a special guest, Athena Sobango. I'm sure you've seen him here on set a number of times. So let me ask them how they're doing today. How do you feel? Let me start with the guest. Let me be fair and start with my guest, Mr. Obango. How are you feeling today? The AFCON is kicking off.
I'm feeling just looking forward to the kickoff, and I'm good.
You're good. And
Yeah.
how do you see Kenya's chances in this African Cup of Nations?
No, let the games begin first.
Let the games begin.
Yeah, because for now it's very difficult.
It's very difficult to
It's very
say, of course.
difficult to predict. But we are looking forward to a very, very good tournament.
Okay, well, well put there, Mr. Obango.
Yeah.
Mwaka,
As you said, I'm feeling good.
you're feeling good.
I'm looking ahead to a very
You're waiting for Sunday.
big tournament.
You're waiting for Sunday, I know.
Yeah.
You're waiting for Kenya.
You know, we'll start with Egypt, then our game will be on Sunday.
Your game will be on
I'm
Sunday.
looking ahead to good results, good performance, good Cup of Nations.
Okay. The one and only co-host. What's good?
Hey, everything is good, man. Especially from today, 21st of June, man. The African Cup of Nations is beginning. 15 years of wait for Harambee Stars were in this competition. So it is something to cherish, something to look up to, the whole competition. Of course, we've been watching the EPL, we've been watching the Copa Americas, the Women World Cup, but now it is the time for Africa. So I'm totally excited to just, you know, have a look at the games, which are beginning tonight here. It's going to be such an amazing affair. So, Delvin, I'm looking forward to the whole period of the tournament.
Kenya's chances?
Well, Kenya...
Oh, you as well put it as Obango put it, we'll wait. Let's get through the first game.
Yeah.
Game week first, and then we'll know how they are going to fare on.
Exactly. We will wait, but at the same time, tunaweza. We don't really have to wait. Tunaweza. Eventually.
Tunaweza.
Yeah.
Hashtag tunaweza.
Hashtag tunaweza.
Yeah.
Well, you've had it there from my pundits. Now to the trivia question. This is today's trivia question, and the question is as follows. Okay, but before my director brings that up, let's just continue talking. Our focus today will be between the opening game, Egypt and Zimbabwe. So I just want to ask you guys, Zimbabwe's chances in this game. We'll look into Zimbabwe in depth a little bit later on. But what are the chances in this game?
I will start by saying that there are very few chances of securing a win. There are very few. Looking aside that they are competing with Egypt. This is a favorite. They are hosts. They have that home advantage. They have very many fans. They have a full backing force from different nations from Africa. I think Zimbabwe, if they will try, I think the least they can come up with is a good result. It's a draw.
Okay, now
but it's very difficult.
Hold on to that. Now my director has just brought up. Let's have a look at today's trivia question. Now, this is today's question. Who has scored the most goals in Africa Cup of Nations history? I'll repeat that. Who has scored the most goals in African Cup of Nations history? Of course, you can tweet us, hashtag Soccer360. Give us your answers. Is it Didier Drogba? Is it Frederick Kanute? I won't give you the answer. Maybe it's one of those two that I've just mentioned. But anyway, let's now move forward. Let's now put focus where it deserves. Egypt versus Zimbabwe. We'll, of course, start off by focusing on the home team. That is Egypt. And their road to here, of course, they did play a couple of matches, the friendly matches. They did perform well. And, of course, Mo Salah being their main man. No one, he needs no mention, Mo Salah. Now, I just want to ask you, Obango, first of all, let's just start with Egypt. Apart from Mo Salah out of the equation, who else can cause Zimbabwe problems in this Egyptian side?
I think Egypt is an all-round good team. And if you look at their record at the Cup of Nations, I think they have a very wonderful record. I think is one of the teams that has won it so many times. But to me, Egypt are the favorites.
For the whole tournament?
Yeah, given the history. Egypt has always been, the only thing, don't allow them to go to the final. That's the only thing I can say. If you allow them.
I see Bwaka laughing. What's funny? You don't believe that Egypt are favorites?
You know, he has said that Egypt are the favorites all the way to the finals. And I wonder, the last time when they played in Guinea, they played against Cameroon. They were in the finals. They lost. Yeah. I think this year's Cup of Nations, people will get stunned because we have very many African nations that have prepared themselves to go out, to get home with this cup. Look at an informed side like, I will not say Senegal because I know I know majority of you might be supporting Senegal, but look at Senegal, look at a squad like Nigeria, look at a team like Morocco. I mean,
the North African teams are
North African teams. And again, you don't rule out the underdogs, the so-called underdogs. You know, the group stage will determine a lot. There are some of the teams that for now, you can predict that they will go home very early. But the results from the group stage will determine a lot the fate of those teams.
There is one unique thing about this year's AFCON, because you look at previously we've had issues with the countries assembling their best squads simply because of the club commitment and whatever. But this time round, you notice that there's nothing like that. There's no battle between club and country. Everybody has assembled the best. So we are looking forward to a very, very entertaining tournament, because we'll have all our best African players in Europe in attendance.
And you know, Obango, just to pick you up on that, of course, with what Delvin had asked, apart from Mo Salah, who else might cause the Zimbabwe side, problems? I think Egypt has a couple of players who participate on the European leagues. There's El Neni.
Are you serious?
El Neni. El Neni is a better player. He actually can cause the Zimbabwe. I know you're saying that because you're an Arsenal fan and he hasn't been performing for Arsenal. But when you compare his opponents tonight, he's definitely going to cause problems to Zimbabwe. There's Ahmed Benghazi. There's a player called Ahmed. He's also another player who's been participating in European leagues. And I think with the kind of experience he has, he's going to still cause problems for his opponents tonight. And then there's El Mohammadi, who's the Egyptian player still. So I think as much as Egypt come off as favorites, they still have a number of players. Even if the coach of Egypt decides to bench Mo Salah, they still have a number of players who can cause the Zimbabwe side problems.
Okay, now because you people have decided you'll be mentioning all the key players, while let's not just have a look at how we picked these players, that's the sports desk. Let's have a look at the key players for Egypt heading into this game. So Mo Salah, Mohamed El Neni, and Trezeguet are the players we picked out, the key players for Egypt. Now, none of you mentioned Trezeguet. He's absolutely a fantastic player. We saw it in the World Cup. Yeah. Fabulous young player. He's also been linked to the move to Europe, Lyon. Yeah. So this guy probably can cause Zimbabwe a bit of problems from the wings.
Totally true. Yeah, he is a winger. I think considering his pace, Trezeguet is a player that is going to cause the Zimbabwe. Players who are fast, players who have the pace
and the trickery as well.
Yeah. He can draw defenders towards him and just give out a good cross. Plus, we've seen one of his attributes is fantastic crosses. So I think Trezeguet is also a key player in the Egypt side.
Okay, now the player we're going to focus on from this Egypt side is none other than, of course, Mo Salah. So let's talk about Mo Salah. Impressive for Liverpool, Champions League winner. Can he lead Egypt to this title in a month's time?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Looking at his impressive form at the Champions League, the Premier League last season, that guy is ready. That guy is ready. Egypt having flopped in the just concluded FIFA 2018 World Cup, I think they are coming to this Cup of Nations with only one aim, not to disappoint their home fans, and again, to make sure that they can at least make it their 8th Cup of Nations title.
So they're coming here with a point to prove.
Yeah.
And given they have home advantage, do you think they'll prove that point, Obango? You already said they're going to the final, but do you think they'll prove that point?
I didn't say they're going to the final. This is football, eh? Yeah. And I just say that I don't give them that space to reach the final, because normally, if you look at their record at the AFCON, it's quite impressive. They have a very impressive AFCON record, and I don't think anybody is there to match it. But to me, I can say Egypt is a very good side. The home support is going to be, the 12th man is going to be of big help to Egypt. And also, if you look at their past records, the way they've been playing, whenever they assemble a team, that is going to, the target is always the final. So it's going to be a tough tournament for them, but I strongly believe that they'll go far.
Strongly believe they'll go far.
Yeah.
Delvin, yeah, of course, Egypt will go far, like Obango says. But when it comes to Mo Salah, I don't think it's going to come easy to him. Yes, we all know he's a star. We all know his capabilities when it comes to playing football. But we have all these other African teams that are facing Egypt that are properly conditioned, knowing that we're heading into this match facing a player who might cause so much damage to our side. So they're going to mark him as much as they can, just so that he doesn't have enough freedom. Just like Obango has put it to us, Egypt is a good side. Don't let it get to the finals. And one way to do that is to mark their star, that is Mo Salah. As much as they're going to have these other players, but Mo Salah, I think he's not going to have an easy time in this game.
I think yes, to chip in, it's not going to be easy for them because the most decorated player in Egypt is Mohamed El Khatib. Mohamed El Khatib was always, whenever Egypt was playing, he used to carry all the burden of pushing Egypt to the next level. So it will take time for Mo Salah to get into Mohamed El Khatib's shoes, because he's one of the great Egyptian players, one of the most decorated Egyptian player. So Mo Salah, we've seen players at the AFCON, great players flop. So it will not be a surprise if Mo Salah flops, because everybody knows his capabilities. And I think whenever a team is playing Egypt, they know what the kind of threat he can cause. So I think he'll be a marked person, and it will be very difficult for him. And remember, most of the teams are, most of the defenders playing in the tournament, most of the players are playing the European League. So I think for Salah, he has to go an extra mile to ensure that he does not flop.
Okay, now, not to undermine Egypt or anything, but do you think Salah just needs a little bit of help? You look at the Senegals with Sadio Mane, they have the likes of Kouyaté, they have the likes of Idrissa Gueye. It's star-studded. Mane has that support. Do you think Salah lacks just that extra quality of support in this Egypt side?
I don't think that he lacks, because looking at Egypt, maybe they might have a group of players who maybe don't play their professional trade abroad. Maybe most of their players, looking at the defense and some of the midfield, they have a good number of players who play at their local league, with Al Ahly, with Zamalek. They have them. I think looking at also their qualification process to the Cup of Nations, it was not that bad. In fact, being host, they also qualified as runners-up in their groups of the qualifiers.
Behind Tunisia, right? If I'm not sure.
Behind Tunisia. So I think with good players who can assist him, he can shine. He can shine. But again, he will face it very rough, because majority of the players who will be his opposition side will be targeting to make him or silence him, because they know already this man is a star. You know, he's coming there with an impression that this is a cup tournament where I need to win. But against him are another players who want to shine with him.
I think having support is a two-faced coin. It's 50-50. I'm going to go away from AFCON a little bit and look at a country like Argentina. It has stars all over, but they've never clinched the World Cup.